Okay, so we do have a few issues we want to be sure we understand. So I'm going to try to squeeze this in right here. Okay, we have y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals m. We multiply both sides by the denominator, meaning we write this as x minus x1 times y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals x minus x1 times m, right? So we be sure we put the parentheses around this because we have to multiply by the whole blamed denominator, not just by part of it, which is, you know, led to a couple of errors in what I saw, okay? Now, we understand that this could be written here as x minus x1 over 1, so you can see what to do multiplying the fractions, right? And you see that then you could get the x minus x1 over the x minus x1, and that's just equal to 1, leaving you just y minus y1, right? So I'm going to have to come all the way over here. We get y minus y1 equals, well, what's this product?
In times x minus x1.
Okay. We could write it as, well, it's going to come out mx minus mx1. Okay? You could multiply it in either order, but if you multiply it in this order, you'd have xm minus x1m. But then xm is just mx, so, right? Okay? And then we add the y1 to both sides, right? And please, when you write this out, if you have to write it out in two lines with add a y1 here and add a y1 here, like an addition problem, also write it out like this, because this is the way you're going to see it. I see people doing that and then they forget they're adding and divide or something, and I think that's bad notation. I understand, you know, I'm not adamant in that idea. I understand how that can be helpful because you understand you're doing the same thing to both sides, but this is really the way you eventually want to write it out. That's like a transition notation, okay?
Okay.
So you want to transition to this notation, but then you just get mx minus mx1 plus y1. The point being that you can solve this for y, right? And this is as much the equation as this is, because they're totally equivalent. Or they're equivalent to this, or to this. I mean, you also could write it y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? And the reason this is really important, you know, I told you here's the equation of an ellipse. Well, that's pretty complicated, and we don't do it in this course. We might do the algebra, but we're not going to study ellipses in this semester. You know, it's sometimes that's even relegated to a calculus course. I think it should be done earlier, but one way or the other. This is the equation of a straight line with slope m through the point x1, y1. So if I ask you to find the equation of a straight line through the point 5, 7 with a slope of 2 sevenths, okay? Well, put the 2 sevenths in here, put the coordinates x1 and y1 here, you get the equation, right? But this picture tells you why that's the equation. It's a very simple picture. And for many people, it's easier to understand this picture than it is to memorize that thing if your memory's a little shaky, okay? The picture always gives you the right result if you understand the picture.